is up, Chuggernauts? Welcome in. It's the Gridiron Chuggers. We are back. Feeling a little bittersweet right now because the Super Bowl is right around the corner. So, season's ending, but we also got the Super Bowl coming up. It's a little exciting. But we got my boy, Juke and Josh, in the building.
What up? How's everyone doing?
Lock it in, Lando, back at it.
Yes, sir.
And your boy, Big Flex X. We've got a lot for you guys today, but let's start off with what's on tap. Lando, what you got today?
This one is going to be a shout out to Intrinsic Brewing. I've had them before and I was a fan. We're sipping on the Chubby Unicorn. I mean chugging. I didn't mean to say sipping. I meant to say chugging.
Hey.
This is a 12% little IPA right here. So I'm excited to get into it. Halftime may be a little rough for me.
Sheesh. Yeah, if you chug that bad boy, you're going to be feeling good.
First sip is happening. Let's just get a little taste.
Get a little taste. Hey.
Definitely an IPA. Very powerful, a little bit of sour. So I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, I love those. Josh, what you got going on over there?
Yuli actually is making me a cowboy coffee. It's using the Ballatin cherry whiskey cream as the alcohol component. So pretty excited to try this one. Need some a little energy too.
Cherry sounds kind of trash.
I mean, I'm a big fan of cherry. I used to not like it as much, but look at this thing. It's a damn near a cappuccino.
Hey, that is art. How do you have 3 hands? That's crazy.
I don't know.
Hell yeah. But we got a lot for you guys today. Lando, go ahead and let us know what's in store.
Oh, we got a lot for you. First half, we're going to be breaking down the championship round recap. A lot happened. Some calls were made that might have been a little contradicting.
Sheesh.
But we're also going to jump into some underdog fantasy, pick some highs, some lows, and lock one in. Then we're going to run into the free agent landing spots. We got some crazy QB talk. And then we're going to introduce the Super Bowl. With that coming up, we're locking in some bets next week, but we got to get into the Super Bowl and talk a little bit about it.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. So we're pretty excited. We got the Super Bowl and stuff, so don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. If you're new to listening, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to our YouTube, our Instagram at Gridiron Chuggers. We got about 2K followers still, but we're trying to hit that 5K goal within these next couple months. So make sure you guys are sharing and shouting us out, whatever it is. We got you. We got all the information for you guys. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Click the link in the bio. It'll take you straight to a winning fantasy season. But without further ado, the countdown to kickoff starts now.
It's round 1. No, I'm just kidding. It's the first quarter of Gridiron Chuggers football podcast. So last week was insane with the conference championships going on. Our first game of the week was the Niners versus the Eagles. And man, this was a mollywhopping on live television. I was absolutely shocked they were able to do this to the Niners. I mean, Lando, you got some extra stats here for us. Break down this game so we can figure out what happened and why it went this way.
Well, we had Jalen Hurts healthy. We had the Eagles doing what they do best. That's rush the football. They're number 3 in the league this season. And look what they did. 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. The Eagles went off on defense as well, had 3 sacks. First downs, man. We had 24 first downs from Jalen Hurts in the offense, 3 for 3 on 4th down. So if you're asking me, I mean, Jalen Hurts is 16-1 as a starter in the NFL. This is a guy who's been a backup and a backup and a backup. And
Jeez.
Now he's on his way to a Super Bowl.
Hell yeah, nice little Super Bowl. I mean, after the game, he was sitting in the locker room by himself smoking a nice little cigar. That's kind of like the Kobe picture. You know what I'm talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
My boy pulled off the Kobe.
Hey, he's locked in.
I mean,
yeah.
Hurts has been insanely impressive. I do love that they wound up utilizing this run game so much with some of his lingering injuries from that shoulder. So I think this is the best way, but they just manhandled all of the 49ers, both on offense and defense. I was really shocked to see it pan out that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
One thing I kind of want to mention, my bad. One thing I kind of want to mention though is like it kind of sucks that Brock Purdy got injured, suffering a UCL injury in his elbow. So that kind of ruined the game from the get go. I was salty as soon as I saw that. I was like, bro, like what's going on? And then after what's his name? Josh Johnson came in. He comes in, fumbles the football, then gets a concussion. So he's out now. So you put Brock Purdy in, who's injured again. I mean, who's still injured, can't throw the football past 5 yards. It just doesn't benefit this team at all, man. I mean, the Niners for the past 5-6 years have just struggled with injuries day in and day out. And I'm kind of starting to feel a little bad for them.
Yeah, it's just crazy, dude.
They really do deserve a full shot with a great quarterback. But that was what we have for the Niners versus Eagles, the first conference championship game. The second one was the AFC Bengals versus Chiefs. And this was close the entire game. I truly was shocked given some of Patrick Mahomes' injuries with that ankle. And they were just able to keep coming back and stay on the field, make sure the defense got turnovers against Joe Burrow. It was a huge part of it. X, give me some more information here.
All right, look, this game is down to the wire, tied 20-20. All I'm saying is you don't win a football game based off of one play, but this one play, I'm talking Joseph Ossai, right? Chasing down Patrick Mahomes. This is pretty much last couple seconds of the game down the sideline. And Patrick Mahomes steps out of bounds, and then Joseph Ossai sends him sprawling into the bench. I mean, what kind of boneheaded play is that, bro? What are you doing, dude? Obviously, you don't win it on one play, but that gave him an extra 15 yards, turned a 60-yard field goal into a 45-yard field goal. I mean, dude.
So what were you thinking when GP, Mr. Jermaine, was in the locker room heated, saying, you can't touch the quarterback? And he's screaming, bro. I mean, is that – he shouldn't have been saying that, though.
Look, I understand it's like, you know, you got your emotions that are going crazy. You're super hyped up and stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, that is your teammate, bro. And like I said, you're not going to win a game off of one play. Like, this game could have been a lot different. The Bengals looked terrible. I mean, Joe Burrow, I mean, they didn't look terrible, but Joe Burrow took hella sacks. He threw an interception in the fourth quarter. I mean, you know, like, those are the kind of things that happen throughout the game, but you're blaming this one guy for this one mistake. Yeah, you shouldn't do it because that's your teammate and you're a whole team together. But at the end of the day, they still lost the game, and I kind of understand why he did it. He was just pissed, you know?
You know, I still don't think that was the honorable thing to do. Yes, Joseph Ossai made a mistake, but if you're really going to hold someone accountable here, I think it needs to be Joe Burrow with his passing. He did not play spectacularly by any means. 26 for 41 on passing attempts, and then 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He had the chance many of times to make this a more competitive game, get those touchdowns.
Oh, absolutely.
And those are mistakes on him. You can't, just because Joseph Ossai messed up on that one play does not mean the whole game is his fault, because that's just simply.
I mean, I know y'all saw Micah Parsons send out a little tweet.
I did see that, yeah. What did he say? He's like, no, this is lame AF or something like that. This is
lame, bro. Why are you talking down your teammate like that?
Literally.
I'd say it's the entire city of Cincinnati's fault for jinxing the hell out of this game. You even have the mayor go on a live broadcast and say, this is Burrowhead Stadium now.
Can we talk about how I think we should name the stadium after MVS after that game?
Oh, bro, this is the first time I've ever seen him pop off like that.
Where was Eli Apple, bro?
He needed to be humbled, though. Let's be real. Eli Apple is probably the worst starter on the Cincinnati Bengals team. He needed to be humbled because he talks the most crap out of anybody.
Yeah, and MVS, I mean, I could have a little bit more of an excuse if it's a Tyreek Hill. Like, he's going to do that to anyone. But it's MVS. He literally is locked down 90% of the time throughout the regular season.
Yeah, MVS. I mean, 6 catches, bro, 116 yards, a touchdown. I mean, and this is with Patrick Mahomes injured pretty much. I mean, he's limping all over the field, and Eli Apple's just getting destroyed, bro. It's so terrible. It's kind of tough.
Dude, if you ask me, if we're being honest, Patty Mahomes could walk away. He could go home and watch games from his couch and be a Hall of Famer. This guy has been insane since he's come into the league. You're talking about 5 seasons in the league, and he's been in the AFC Championship all 5 of those seasons.
Jeez.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Jeez, bro. God.
He's got a Super Bowl victory. He's got a Super Bowl MVP, a regular season MVP, 5 Pro Bowls in 5 seasons, and he even racked up a couple All-Pro first teams.
I mean,
there's something else.
Is Patty the next one up? Is he the next GOAT?
Yeah, this is Baby Goat. That's his nickname
I think he is the GOAT.
All right. Well, we can't stretch that.
I think he is, bro. He was
like,
injured.
Hey,
the Bengals were healthy, bro, and Patty was limping and still throwing tutties.
You still can't put him over TB until he gets at least 5 Super Bowls.
Well, okay. Whoa. I mean, what if he wins this one, bro? Like, what if he wins this Super Bowl here? I think he's pretty close to the GOAT, bro. This dude's OPAF. But shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to the Chiefs. We're in for a good one this season. That's right. Woo! What's up, Juggernauts? It is time for the second quarter.
Let's get it. Let's go. Second quarter underway. We got some Underdog fantasy. Shout out to Underdog. This is where we're going to be locking in some higher or lower on some players in this Super Bowl game. So let's get to it. We're starting out with the Chiefs. We got Patty Mahomes. We got Travis Kelce, Jerick McKinnon, Harrison Butker. We're going to be seeing what we're feeling on this game. So Patty Mahomes is at half an interception. Juke 'em Josh, higher or lower on this Patty interception against the Eagles?
So I never want to bank on a Patty interception, at least personally. But this Eagles defense is mean, and they're able to create turnovers really whenever they damn please. I mean, we see it with Darius Slay and that front defensive line, which gets so much pressure. I'm going to have to take the higher because it only takes 1 and you're above it. I'm taking above 0.5 interceptions.
Sheesh. Are we locking this in?
Jeez. Damn, 0.5. I mean, dude, it is Patrick Mahomes. He is cold, but I think the biggest thing here is 1, his injury. 2, that D-line of the Eagles is just ridiculous. And let's not forget about, what is it, Bradbury and Darius Slay over there, you know? I think this Eagles defense is pretty cold, and I think they have a shot at getting that interception over.
So we're looking at a Patty interception. I mean,
just 1.
It looks like we're going with the higher. This is a half an interception, so if he throws one, we cash it. And the Eagles defense is the number 2 in the league, so it seems like that actually could hit. So we are locking it in. We got the higher over half an interception. But we got some more. We got a running back. We got a running back out of Kansas City. That's Jerick McKinnon. There's a few of them. Actually, we got Patty Mahomes passing yards. I forgot. We got to get back to this one. 287 and a half on the passing yards. 287 and a half. Are you locking in the higher or the lower?
I think I got to go.
That's a toughie, right? That is a toughie. Well, the one thing that I'm thinking about the Eagles defense right off the bat. That's the first thing that comes into mind. Also, his receivers, but you saw MVS go off like crazy last week. And Travis Kelce, this is a toughie, man. But if you want to beat the Eagles, I think they're going to have to run the football a little bit more and try to slow down that pass rush, run the football. I think I'm taking the lower on the passing yards.
Ooh, man. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I'm rocking with the lower. The Eagles are giving up the least amount of passing yards per game. We've been over this. 179.8 passing yards per game. So this is 100 over what the Eagles are giving up. This is going to take another spectacular MVS game, and I don't think it happens. I mean, we've seen Travis Kelce have 4 touchdowns and 30 yards. So I'm taking this under. I'm taking the under on the Patty Mahomes passing yards.
I think this is a squad ride. I mean, when you look at it, you're like, he can easily throw over 300 yards, but this is not a team you want to air it out against at all. And so
Exactly.
I think we all have to agree here. It's going to have to lean on this run game. And this is where our running back, Jerick McKinnon, will tie in.
And we got Jerick McKinnon. So we look at it here.
Uh-oh.
This is somebody who's been balling, been scoring touchdowns. His receiving yards are at 22.5. Wow. That's making me want to click higher right now.
Right away, right off the bat, bro. Right off the bat, you're looking at 22.5 receiving yards. Jerick McKinnon, one of the best pass catching backs. That's literally what he's been known for his entire career. I think I'm locking in the higher on Jerick McKinnon.
Sheesh.
Especially with the corners that we're just talking about the number one passing defense in the league. I mean, you're going to have to check the ball down. Plus, Patrick Mahomes' injury. Yeah, Jerick McKinnon locked me in higher.
I do think there's a case for all 3 of those lines to take the higher.
You're talking 23.5 rushing yards, 22.5 receiving yards, and 48.5 rushing and receiving yards combined.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I mean, with Patty having to limp around a little bit, I mean, 23.5 yards really isn't a lot if you think about it. I mean, some backs in this league average 80 yards a game. So I think there is the possibility that they could at least use them enough to get every single one of those.
Yeah, this might be a McKinnon dump-off game. We got the total combined yards rushing and receiving at 48.5.
48.5.
I think I'm locking in the over on the 22. I'm locking in the over on the 48. I think Jerick McKinnon goes out there and balls on this Super Bowl.
Hey, I hope so. That's going to be kind of tough, though, because they still have Isaiah Pacheco back there, too. We can't forget about him.
That is very true.
Isaiah Pacheco's rushing yards are sitting at 52.5. So, I mean, I feel like he was averaging 70, 80 in these last 4 games of the season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Isaiah Pacheco's been balling out.
I mean, he was in the
What's
division
up?
round. He was the one that ate that team up. So, because that was when Patty originally got injured, they're going to have to lean on Pacheco as well.
Yeah, dude. So that takes us in to the best tight end in the whole league and fantasy football, Travis Kelce. We need to check him out. Remember, we're going to have to lock in 5 of the best to win some money. We're putting $5 on it, hoping to win a lot. Travis Kelce, 78.5 receiving yards. What are you thinking, higher or lower?
Tough defense. This is a really, really tough defense. I think I'm going to have to take the lower here. I think he's going to get plenty of opportunities to make 78.5 yards. I just don't think it's going to pan out that way. I think he's going to wind up catching the ball 5-7 yards downfield, immediate tackle. I mean, I don't see a lot of potential for just breakout plays against the Philadelphia Eagles. So if he does, I mean, it's going to be off of a ton of possessions, but 78.5 is, to me, a stretch even for the number 1 tight end.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
My bad. 78.5, bro. I'm looking at it. I mean, the Eagles average 50 yards per game, letting up 50 yards per game to tight ends. So that's 25 yards or a little bit over 25 yards less. Like, I think the Eagles defense is just way too good. Now, don't get me wrong, Travis Kelce is also really good, but I think if I were to bank on one of these Travis Kelce picks, it would have to be the 7.5 receptions. That's the one I would take the higher on. And then the lower, I would hit the receiving yards at 78.5. We're taking the lower on that.
And then the final one, what you feeling on it, Lando?
Yeah, well, the receiving yards, I mean, it only makes sense because he's averaging 78.5 receiving yards a game. So I think this is Vegas just putting what he averages, and he's hit that once in the last 4 games. So I would probably take the Travis Kelce under on receiving yards. We had the receptions and touchdowns, receptions 7.5. X is locking in the over on receptions. And then a touchdown. I think Travis Kelce gets a touchdown. I think that's just a safe bet.
Yeah.
If that's a bet on your book, you take it every time just in case.
Every time you have to.
There's no way he doesn't try to feed him a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean, this would be potentially the winningest duo since Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady. So I feel like he has to get him one here because he also missed him on one last week.
Can you imagine a Patty Mahomes rushing touchdown on a bum ankle? The odds on that.
Got to be insane.
I wonder what that is. Hell yeah. Hey, I kind of want to lock that in. That's probably like plus 500. It has to be.
And now someone with not such a bum ankle, Harrison Butker, the game-saving kicker here, took them into the Super Bowl. It looks like his over and under is at 1.5 field goals. So if he makes 2 field goals, you win. What are you taking?
I'm taking the over. This is, to me, just so easy. Whether that's he's making a field goal just because he actually they scored and he had to kick a field goal, or he's doing a field goal from the field because they need to bail out and get at least some points on the board. That's bound to happen twice at least. There's no way they go without a touchdown. So that's one. And then there's going to be one drive where they're close and they get stopped. That's 2. That's cake.
Yeah, I see. I mean, last week against Cincinnati, these guys put up 2 field goals right off the bat. So I don't see why they couldn't, or why they would go into the Super Bowl and not kick 2 field goals, especially when you're thinking about Cincinnati's defense compared to the Eagles' defense. The Eagles' defense is way better, especially in red zone. I mean, they're going to slow them down just a bit, and I think Harrison Butker is going to knock those in. So I'd lock in the higher as well.
I feel like 2's too easy. I mean, this is a squad ride on the higher because let's just say he kicked a field goal in the first quarter. You're in the fourth quarter. He still hasn't kicked a field goal. Guess what? It can be at any moment, even with 20 seconds left in the game, that he can cash your field goal. So this is a nice one right here. Let's go over to the Eagles. We have a lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot of lines for Jalen Hurts. It's showing me pass touchdowns, rush touchdowns, rush yards.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a receiving one in this with the Philly special.
I'm telling you. So we got to start out with the pass touchdowns. This line is at 1.5. Last game, he did not have a passing touchdown. They had all rushing touchdowns on the day. Are you locking in the 2 pass touchdowns for Jalen? I think he could get it done.
I think he could get it done too. He had a bad week last week when you're talking about passing the ball, I think. He missed some guys that were open, AJ Brown, on a streak. He had him wide open and he overthrew him. He did dot up Devontae Smith though, but two touchdowns, man, that's hard. I think just because of his legs, I think because he runs the football really well and he scores touchdowns rushing the football. What is it? 15 plus touchdowns this season? Most in the NFL history for a quarterback at rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
Yeah, I think that's going to be why he hits the under on this, actually.
Okay, there you have it. What you think, Jukum?
I think you're muted, my boy.
I'm taking the under. I have to completely agree with X. There's just so many opportunities for them to hand off the ball or just run with it. I don't think it's worth trying to air it out, even against the Chiefs. Because, I mean, though the Chiefs' defense is nowhere near the Eagles' defense, they're still a top 10 defense, and you're going to have to worry about them in some form or fashion. That's definitely going to be against the air. They're a way better pass defense than I would say they are at run stop. And so that's going to be an easy spot for them to just exploit. They're going to have to do it through Hurts, and they're going to be able to do it through some wildcat plays. And Miles Sanders was a unit last week. I think they depend on him again here.
Boom. Then we had the rushing yards for Jalen Hurts sitting at 47.5. This line's looking a little sketchy. We saw him last week go out there and have 39 rushing yards. His over last week was 40. He had 39. So if that tells you anything, it's a little sketchy, but his line this week is sitting over that. And it's at 47.5. What you locking in?
Dude, these Jalen Hurts lines, honestly, I'm going to be completely real here. I don't even think I want to touch them. Like, these are not our top 5 picks, at least for me.
Yeah.
I don't like them because they're too risky, because he can really do it all. He can do it all, but this one game, it's like, which one of these is he actually going to do? I don't know. 47.5 rushing yards is quite a bit, especially for a quarterback, even though it is Jalen Hurts. I think I'm going to lock in the under here. The lower. I'm taking lower.
Okay. We got passing yards. He's averaging about 246 passing yards a game. His over-under sitting at 242.5. Is this the game A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith get going, Goddard gets going, and he hits this?
I see this staying honestly just a rushing attack overall. I don't see them try to pass it that much because you don't want to get the ball down the field fast. This is about controlling the clock against Patrick Mahomes. If you try and air it out, you're going to take you're not going to take up enough valuable time against someone of Patrick Mahomes' caliber. So I'm taking the under. I mean, he really hasn't been insane to me on passing. He's been good, but the rushing attack and the combo attack is really where he's made his money this year. So I don't see him trying to air it out and go for a 300-yard game.
Okay. Shout out to Josh. What a take.
It's just I'm sketch on it because then we go over to the Chiefs defense and it hasn't been the best. They were nice last week.
True.
But before that, this team is letting up some points on the defensive end. And I just feel like Jalen Hurts is going to be able to read and have Goddard wide open, have Devontae Smith on a touchdown. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown's lines are both sitting at 5.5 catches. Number one, we got to figure out higher or lower. But who gets more catches? A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith this game?
You're going to lean on the guy that you paid all this money to. I think that's what's going to happen here. You got to take A.J. Brown. That's the guy they're going to feed the ball to. Right off the bat in the Niners game, first play of the game, they ran a slant to A.J. Brown. That's going to be the exact same thing they're going to do here. They're going to short little passes to A.J. Brown. He's going to get the most receptions. Now, where's the line at again?
The line is at 5.5 catches for both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
I think I'm taking the over on A.J. Brown. I'm taking the higher on A.J. Brown. And as for Devontae Smith, I think I'm going to lock in the lower here because you're going to feed it to your best guy, but you're not going to be passing the ball that much because you do want to wind down the clock quite a bit. You're not going to have that many opportunities to throw the football. So A.J. Brown gets most of the opportunities. Devontae Smith, though, does have a pretty big play, I feel like.
Yeah, Devontae Smith, he's actually cashed over 5.5 catches 4 out of the last 5 games.
Wow.
This last game, though, he actually only had 2 catches for 36 yards, and they couldn't get much going on the passing end, but they were whooping on every other end. So this one's tough, man. But like you said, I think AJ Brown is their go-to guy. You could throw a bomb to AJ, and all of a sudden he's got a touchdown on a fade. So I think AJ Brown finishes with more catches, but I think they both hit this over. And
Jeez.
Jalen Hurts balls out and throws for 250.
Damn. Okay.
So
That's a hot take.
Hot
It
hot
is a
take.
hot take.
Hot take. Timmy in the house. Come on.
I do have to take the over on both. Though I don't agree on the over 250 for the passing yards for Jalen Hurts, but I do agree they both wind up at least getting 5 to 7 receptions. The biggest issue for me here is when looking at AJ Brown's stats, he actually is not great at holding on to the ball. We know Jalen Hurts can get him near him, but a majority of his games throughout the season, he had only 5 catches or less, and had way more targets, but did not complete those catches. So this is a big issue I look at. But I still think with the opportunity of it being the Super Bowl, they're both going to try and put their stamp on this game. I see them both getting over 5.5 catches.
Boom.
Oh, damn. All right, we got to go to the running back. This is a run-heavy team with Miles Sanders in the lead for that RB1 spot. His rushing yards are sitting at 55.5. Rushing plus receiving, 63.5. So they're saying he's going to have 8 receiving yards, give or take. What lines are you hitting? We got a rushing plus receiving touchdowns at a half as well. How are you feeling on Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders. One thing I know about Miles Sanders, and this is because I had him in fantasy, he has one great game. The next game, he is MIA. So with that being said, I'm a little iffy on all of these lines. If there was a line I'm going to take, it's going to be the rushing plus receiving touchdown line. That's at 0.5. And I think he could score a touchdown, but I think he's still going to be a little MIA. You know, I don't think he's going to have the rushing yards. I don't think he's going to have the receiving yards. I just lock in the touchdown. That's it. I'm talking goal line, runs it in. Miles Sanders. That's it.
Sheesh.
Yeah, Josh is muted.
I'm going to have to take the higher on the rushing yards at 50, or he'll wind up getting 60 plus. He only had 5 games throughout the season where he was below that anyway. So very used in this offense. And I think he is a real focal point given all the shit he talked to the Eagles in the offseason was like, I'm not used. I think they said, okay, we'll fix that. We'll mix you in with Jalen Hurts and you will be the feature back. He's proved it this year. I mean, the touchdowns may not be there, but the rushing yards are there. So I'm taking the over on the rushing yards. I'm iffy on the rushing plus receiving, seeing as he's only had a handful of catches this year, and many of the games where he got a reception, it was for like 3 yards. So I think that one's dead even at 63.5. I'm going to take the under on rushing plus receiving. Because if he has 0 receiving, does it wind up canceling out?
As long as he hits over 63 and a half.
Yep.
All right, well, then I'm taking above that.
64 rushing yards, he's good.
All right, I'm taking above then because his rushing attack is something insane. I give him a touchdown too. Shit.
Jeez. My boy wants to over all the way across. Come on.
I mean,
Miles Sanders fan?
Miles Sanders fan. I hate the Eagles, but I have to look at these players with an unbiased lens. And Miles Sanders, when you look at the stats and what he's been able to do this season, he's able to do this, even against the Chiefs on Super Bowl day.
I don't know. Maybe I'm anti-Miles Sanders. I've always been kind of anti-Miles Sanders, but
that's because you got screwed over by him in a season fantasy.
Yeah, well, I had him this season, and I think the 5 games you're talking about where he didn't break 50 rushing yards, those were the 5 games after he had a really big game. And I'm telling you, he just had a really big game.
Are you talking about the New York Giants or Green Bay Packers or Jacksonville Jaguars where he all rushed for over 130 yards?
Okay, yeah. And then what's after that? He probably had like a nice little 40 piece, and that was it.
So if it was after the Green Bay game, that was against Indianapolis, top tier defense. Can't be mad about how bad that team is, though.
All right, don't make excuses for him, bro.
The worst game was against Tennessee at 24 points, but I mean, that's a defensive minded coach there with Mike Vrabel. So I think they knew how to shut him down. And Jalen Hurts was the focal point early in the offseason or early in the season before his injury. But outside of the really crappy games, I mean, he's done great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Miles Sanders. He had 2 rushing touchdowns last week. Can he get it done? We're going to find out. We got the leg on the Eagles. This is going to be Jake Elliott. He is also sitting at 1.5 field goals. So is he making 2, or is he going to pull a Brett Maher?
Oh, wait, yo, I don't know about a Brett Maher, too.
Oh, man.
That one was bad. He went 1 for his 7 last field goals. That was kind of tough. But
extra points, bro.
Oh, extra points. That's right. That's right.
Even worse.
But Jake Elliott over 2 field goals or over 1.5.
Do they score too much for this line?
I think they do, man. One of the things with the Kansas City Chiefs defense is Chris Jones had a day against the Cincinnati Bengals. But let's not forget the Cincinnati Bengals had 3 backup offensive linemen going up against Chris Jones. I think the Eagles' offensive line is way better, and they'll be able to slow him down quite a bit to the point where, yeah, I think they're going to be punching it in when they're in the red zone. So I can see Jake Elliott kicking 1 field goal, but do I see him making 2? I don't. I don't see it unless it's probably a game-winning field goal. But I'm still going to lock in the lower here.
These are the funny bets, man. When you it's the second quarter and it already cashed, and you're like, why did I?
I know, that's the worst.
But it's time. We need to lock in 5 of our favorite over and unders for the week, because I'm going to place a $7 Underdog fantasy lock. So first up, I really liked when we were up here talking about Mr. Jerick McKinnon's receiving yards. This is 22.5. This is something, as we were talking, it's low. Jerick McKinnon can get that off 1 play. I think that's something I want to lock in. Again, we need 5 of them, and this is just one of the 5 that I really like. So we're going to take higher on Jerick McKinnon's receiving yards.
Solid choice.
Not bad. Not bad at all, eh? I think if I'm going to lock one in, man, I think I'm leaning more towards same team right here, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm leaning more towards Travis Kelce, 7.5 receptions. We're locking in the higher here.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that has to be one of my go-tos right there. I mean, Travis Kelce, he catches the ball a lot in this offense.
Are you able to use the same player more than once?
Yeah.
Travis Kelce over half a receiving touchdown. He's getting 1. It's a Super Bowl, guys. Come on.
So
why would actually? Is this a tease?
It won't let me lock both of them in on the same player.
No.
So we now must choose. Is he going to get 8 catches, or is he going to get a touchdown? Which one's easier for Kelce?
Getting 8 catches.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. What? He gets 20 targets a game?
I like both lines. I like both of them, to be honest. I want both of them.
So, Josh, what would your second choice be with that being taken?
Oof, man. Be from both teams. I'm taking Jalen Hurts over half a rushing touchdown.
Wow.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
Put your house on it.
Put your house on it, sheesh. I don't know about that. This is I don't know about putting your house on it.
Be responsible. Yeah, don't put your house on a bet. Your wife will kill you.
I wouldn't put the house on it, but one I would put the house on is A.J. Brown over 5.5 receptions. This is too easy. He's going to have 3 receptions in their first drive. and it's going to be up from there. We got to lock in A.J. Brown, 6 receptions on the day. It looks like we need one more. We have 4 of them locked in. What's this final bet?
All right. Y'all can
What
correct.
are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Yeah, you can correct me if you don't feel this way, but I'm taking that Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals.
That's why you're my dog. That's why you're
They're going to be in position to get 2 field goals.
Hey, that's my dog. Hey, that's my dog.
That's my dog. Hey, that's my...
Dude, we got to lock it. That's exactly what was on my mind, bro. Harrison Butker, 2 field goals. I think this is probably the best lock on this entire thing. I think he's going to hit 2 field goals for sure.
Boom. We saved the best for last. Harrison Butker to make 2 field goals. Cash money. Let's lock this in. We're going to be looking at $7 right here. And that $7 is going to win us $140 on Underdog Fantasy if we cash. So let's go through these one more time. I put $7 on Jerick McKinnon to go over 22.5 receiving yards. Travis Kelce to have 8 receptions. Harrison Butker to make 2 field goals. Jalen Hurts to rush for a touchdown. And A.J. Brown to get 6 receptions. $7 wins $140 on Underdog.
Jeez, check that out. We're turning one Big Mac meal into 10, baby.
Sure are.
Let's go.
Now you get a Big Mac and nuggets for an extra $1.
Okay.
But that's all we've got for the first half. Now it's time to take it into our halftime chug.
And now it is time for our halftime chug.
Yes, good. We got Bruce Buffer on the mic over here. So as you guys know, we had some drinks today. I had the Cowboy Coffee made with the Balaton Cherry Whiskey Cream. It was delicious. I mean, I think if I could get this at my local coffee shop, I would be pretty happy, and I'd be drunk the whole day. No one would know. So that'd be phenomenal.
Wow.
But
I think a lot of people actually do that.
oh, they definitely do. I was shocked. Everybody, please drink responsibly. Don't drink at work. It's not. Why? Just go to work sober.
Is it time?
Is it time to chug?
What do
time
you
to
got?
hit the halftime chug?
Ooh.
Chug, chug, chug.
Just a
chug.
quick little chug for these chuggernauts, you know?
Let's get it. He got the 12% over there, by the way.
Yeah, be careful. There's a rhino on this thing.
Ooh.
Okay, can't see it. Come on.
All right, you ready? Set. Chug, 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 chug.
Chug.
Fresh
Chug.
milk. Fresh.
Fresh milk. Do something crazy. Do something crazy.
Man, I hope all you fans out there got that reference. If you haven't, go look up Asher Roth.
Oh,
Come
Asher
on.
Roth. Asher Roth. Greatest college song of all time.
Hands down. But that was our cocktail for the half. And then also Landon had his craft brew. But we have a lot of, QBs being talked about with this Pro Bowl coming up. Some surprise stars. Derek Carr was recently selected to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. Didn't see that one coming.
Didn't see that one at all.
Yeah, great way for him to, I guess, show off his talents to potential suitors, seeing as he will no longer be a part of the Raiders. We have Tyler Huntley and, of course, Trevor Lawrence, who was phenomenal this season. But for me, the real issue is...
Hold on. You said Tyler Huntley?
Tyler Huntley. That's what I was thinking.
We're just going to skip over that?
I kind of wanted to because he doesn't need to be there.
he just snuck that in. No, but dude, Derek Carr benched last 2 weeks of the season, makes the Pro Bowl. Come on now. Like, dude, what our Pro Bowl's done. It's so trash. Like,
To me, throw Brock Purdy in there. He was injured. I still would rather him be in the Pro Bowl than freaking Derek Carr.
Well, that's the NFC, NFC, AFC, you know how that goes.
Not true, but I don't know. I just think this is why. Why is Derek Carr here? There's got to be better people to replace him with. Same with Tyler Huntley. There's why?
I don't know. Josh Allen opted out of the Pro Bowl to go play a golfing tournament.
I would too, because the Pro Bowl is a joke.
Golf tournament instead of the Pro Bowl.
All right. We know it's been just an absolute waste of television. Do y'all have any different ideas for how the Pro Bowl should be ran? Maybe we can start pitching this shit to the NFL and see if they bite on something that makes money.
Josh is fed up.
There's one thing that I feel like should change, and that's when it's played. I think at the end of the season, as another, it's the Super Bowl is coming up. That's what everyone's excited about. And these guys go out there and play two-touch football. I just think it should be in the middle of the season, like baseball and basketball all-star break.
I mean, at the very least, right before playoffs.
Yeah, I just think an extra game like that just wouldn't benefit anybody really. Like it's players might get injured, this and that. It's in the middle of the season. Say you even do like home field advantage for whichever. Well, that doesn't even make sense either because it's broken down. Oh, I guess the Super Bowl would be home field advantage. Okay, that makes sense. So, home field advantage, if you win the game, AFC or NFC, then the Super Bowl, you get home field advantage. But there's always a location for the Super Bowl. So one of the things that Josh mentioned was, the two worst teams in the NFL going up against each other for the first overall pick. I think that would be way better. I mean, I want to watch Justin Fields go up against the Houston Texans,
I mean, we should.
That would be pretty interesting. That would be better. Yeah, literally. And I mean, both teams may or may not be looking for a quarterback. I don't know about the Bears, but I know the Texans need a quarterback pretty bad. So I think it's just interesting here. And plus, the best player in the draft is going to be a defensive lineman. I mean, both teams could use him.
When I pitched it sounded a lot better because I used the term sudden death, but I really do think
oh man,
this is the best use of the Pro Bowl. To me, it's just an expense. It's a paid vacation. Hey, you did well. Go on your vacation to Hawaii, chill out. No one wants to watch that. This needs to be A, moved up, and B, restructured. I think if you add some importance behind this game, you make it a lot more worthwhile. But on top of that, like Landon said, it does need to be moved up because to me, it's just a buffer in between the Super Bowl. That's not when the buffer needs to be. I think there needs to be the buffer between the regular season and the playoffs. That way you can kind of weed out who you want to. And then it'll give them an extra break. I think many of these players would be happy to have a 1 week break with the Pro Bowl before they go into playoffs. To me, it just makes more sense. But right before the Super Bowl, no one gives a shit. No one's going to watch it. Do something here.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit more excited for the dodgeball tournament that they have.
Yeah, dude. If these teams face, you'd be looking at a Bears and Texans play-in game to see who would lock in that first round pick. But speaking of the Texans, we have a brand new head coach in town. Big Flex X, tell them what just went down that we heard today.
Well, defensive coordinator San Francisco 49ers, DeMeco Ryans, just became the new head coach for the Houston Texans. And I think this is one hell of an addition to the Texans team. I think DeMeco Ryans is so cold. You saw what he did with the 49ers defense. You saw how Nick Bosa might win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, DeMeco Ryans knows what he's doing. I think he could take that Texans team and turn it around. I'm pretty excited for this. They really need to find a quarterback, though. That should be his top priority.
Definitely should be. The thing I'm worried about here is that the two previous coaches the Houston Texans have had, they've truthfully screwed over. They've set them up for one and done seasons or two and done seasons and get out of here. The team sucks. But they want to do all this screwing around with Deshaun Watson, trying to keep him for way longer than they probably should have. And then on top of that, you also make him Lovie Smith the scapegoat for last season when He's just trying to win a team with nobody. I mean, Brandon Cooks didn't want to play. You have only Damian Pierce as your offensive weapon. Pretty big issue, in my opinion. I hope they do D'Amico Ryans right. Give him a real shot to build a team at least 3 years. I mean, this is the NFL. This is not an overnight process.
Yeah, this was a crazy deal. You know, the Broncos, they actually wanted D'Amico Ryans, and they were planning on signing a deal with him. All of a sudden, he's finalizing a deal, and then Denver has to have their plan B option, and that is to actually sign Sean Payton to a deal. So this thing is finalized. D'Amico Ryans was supposed to go to the Denver Broncos, ends up with the Texans last minute. Sean Payton is with the Broncos. Breaking news. How is this organization going to turn around here in Denver?
Look, I think this is the best addition for the Broncos. I think they needed an offensive mind. Sean Payton, quarterback guru. I mean, I think this is great for Russell Wilson and the whole offense of the Denver Broncos. Plus, their defense is already one of the top 5 defenses in the league. So that's good for the Broncos. The only thing I don't like is that they just gave away so many picks to go get Russell Wilson. And now you're going to give away a first-round pick and a second-round pick for your head coach, Sean Payton. So it's like, if they don't make this work right now with the players that they have, this organization is going to go downhill pretty dang quick, and you're going to look at a new front office coming soon.
I'll tell you what, this GM definitely needs to be fired. But I think Sean
Who's that, John Elway?
Yeah, it is John Elway. Like, I get he's the hometown hero, but he's really screwing over this team with these draft picks. I love Sean Payton on the Broncos. I think it's a great choice for the Broncos, but in Sean Payton, I don't know why he took this coaching job. I think there was better opportunities, namely the Cardinals. But
no way, dude. This is the best spot for him too. You already have a great defense. Go ahead, finish.
The reason I don't like this is you have no picks to build off of. If Russell Wilson is out and is, as unuseful as he was this past year, what do? You can't go get a new quarterback. All your cap space is tied to him. You have receivers that get injured left and right. You have a star running back coming off of a major season-ending injury. If Russ can't get it right, what do you do then? This is where I'm thinking this is not the correct spot for Sean Payton, is because he may have to trade away the Mercedes to go get an Audi or Volkswagen instead and ride with that, so he can actually have the weaponry around a game manager. If Russell Wilson is trying to be a star and then wants to be a stud, then he needs to go out there and perform for the cap he is taking up.
I think this was the best spot for Sean Payton, though.
I don't know, dude.
Considering his defense and the weapons he has on offense. I mean, you have Jerry Jeudy. You have Jamal Williams.
Cortland Sutton. I get
Cortland Sutton. Like,
ton of names, but all injury prone so far. I mean, you go to the Cardinals, all you have to get rid of is one person. You can keep the rest of the team. You just get rid of Call of Duty playing freaking Kyler Murray. You have your issue solved. You have the amount of draft picks you need to go get a solid quarterback here. You're a terrible team. You can trade up.
Yeah. But it's time to strap on the pads. We're coming back out. It's the third quarter, baby. Woo! What's up, Juggernauts? We're back in the third quarter. Let's kick this thing off. We've got some quarterback landing spots because, we have some guys that might retire. We have some guys that are pissed off at their front office, and we're going to change teams. So we're going to look at these odds and see which ones we like best. You got guys like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson. I mean, these guys are all over the place right now. So where are these guys going? Let's check it out. Let's dive right into Aaron Rodgers. We're looking at his odds right now, right? Green Bay Packers Does he want to stay here? I don't know.
Nope.
Plus 225. That's the best pick right there. That's what they think is going to happen. Stay with Green Bay plus 225. Are y'all going to lock in the 225, or are we looking more towards the New York Jets at plus 400?
I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I'm actually looking at the Las Vegas Raiders in this spot, and that is to be reunited with Devontae Adams. This line is sitting at plus 575, and I think there's a lot more there that this line needs to be closer to the Jets line at plus 400. So I can see something like the Jets, but I feel like the reunite with Devontae would just be something that TV needs to see again, and that would be a team that would make a deep playoff run in the AFC.
Reunited and it felt so good. Hey.
Yeah,
going to be singing that song. I actually have to completely agree with Landon. I mean, you look at the Jets. I'm looking at the landscape of where New York is and where Wyoming is. Temperature wise, it's the exact same. You got to remember that he is a Cali boy. He wants to be somewhere warm. I think Las Vegas provides him that opportunity. It's not humid, but it's warm. He's got Devontae Adams. He's going to be able to fight age because he's not in a cold setting all the damn time. You got Darren Waller. You got a bunch of studs at wide receiver. This is more options than he's had his entire NFL career with the Green Bay Packers. I think it's the best choice.
All right. So we're skipping over the Packers, the Jets, the Dolphins, so that Aaron Rodgers can lock in with the Las Vegas Raiders and get reunited with Devontae Adams.
Can we just mention that there's odds on this for retirement as well? And that's sitting at plus 650. So is this in the conversation that Aaron Rodgers could be done?
No.
That's tough. Yeah, I don't think so.
He said he could go out and win another MVP. Granted, that's sort of what I want to hear. At the same time, I'd rather him hear, I want to go out and win another Super Bowl. I know I can. But to say he can go out and win another MVP, that means he knows his skill is still there. So I think retirement is just not in the cards yet. These guys are killers, competers. He wants to win while he can win.
Yeah, and if we're talking retirement, we got another guy on this list, and that is Tom Brady. Is he in for another season? Is that what we're getting here? I know Gronk was talking about seeing Tom Brady come back for another year, but I don't even think it'll be with the Bucs, who are right now at plus 200 for Tom Brady to stay there. But you got a lot of other teams on this list, and what do y'all think? Y'all think Tom Brady's retiring this year?
I think he's got another year in him.
With the same team or a new team?
I think this 49ers team is set up for success to bring Tom Brady in and go straight to the Super Bowl. The injuries on the 49ers have been devastating. Trey Lance gone. Brock Purdy suffered a UCL injury. He's out for 6 months. Jimmy G has struggled with injuries. He was already sitting behind Trey Lance. So I think Tom Brady's the guy you bring in, go to the Super Bowl, one last round, and he shows that he's the GOAT by winning on another team that couldn't make it to the Super Bowl without him.
You don't think Brock Purdy has done enough to remain the Niners quarterback?
I don't. I think if Tom Brady came over there, that would be the best thing for Brock Purdy, to have a season to learn behind the GOAT, because the GOAT would sign a 1 year. He's not going to be there 5-10 years. This is a coach for Brock Purdy to grow into a role, to take that next step.
Yeah, the 49ers are runner-ups right now at plus 350. Josh, what are you looking at?
He's not going to any other team but the 49ers. I don't think he doesn't want to stay in Tampa Bay, and it's not because of the players. It's because he's got an idiot for a head coach right now in Todd Bowles. No offense to Todd Bowles, but I was offended by your play calling. So I don't think he wants to stay there. He knows that the talent there does not want to win and doesn't seem motivated to. The Dolphins that's a big question mark. I think they would be smarter looking at youth over win now situation. 49ers is perfect. You can get Jimmy G out. He was just the Costco or Walmart brand version of Tom Brady anyway. So boom, cap space gone. You can get rid of Trey Lance because he's already shown he's ineffective and injury prone. That's another cap space gone. And then you have Brock Purdy, who is almost completely similar in draft prospect to Tom Brady was. He really is copy, paste. He's a game manager, a really smart decision maker. Like Landon said, this would be the best thing. Have Tom Brady come there for a year, coach him up, boom, Tom Brady Jr.
Yeah, dude, I want to say one thing. We mentioned last week the Jets were one quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. They're sitting over here at plus 900 on Tom Brady. Jeez. Is that something that could ever happen? I mean, sheesh.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
He would be disrespecting his OG fan base. They were okay with him going to Tampa Bay because they were like, this is farewell anyway. You got us 6 chips. They can't complain. I think if he goes to the Jets, that ruins his entire brand. Now, he goes to the 49ers, grew up a 49ers fan, has always regretted them not taking him. I think it's just a match made in heaven if you look at it. Or he goes back to the Patriots somehow and takes back Mac Jones. I mean,
that's what I was looking at. I mean, they're at plus 750. They're the 4th best team on this list for, at least that's what Vegas thinks. And that would be interesting. Him go back home for one more year, get it done with Bill Belichick, and then call it a career. But we got more names on this list. We got my boy Lamar Jackson. This is the big prospect. The big free agent, we all know about. Lamar Jackson, where is he going? He just got franchise tagged today, Tuesday, January 31st. Just got franchise tagged. So what are we looking at? A potential trade here. You got the New York Jets being the favorites at plus 250. Atlanta Falcons right behind them at plus 350. Where do y'all think Lamar ends up? Josh, who are you looking at?
It's not on this list, which kind of bums me out. But I think I would like him to make a play for the Cowboys. I would love to see Lamar take out Dak Prescott. I think with Dak Prescott, you have decent trade value. They're looking for someone who can air it out, and he airs it out way better than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson in a Cowboys uniform, insane. But on this list, I'm actually gonna have to go with the Falcons. I think the Falcons would be a perfect representation of who he is and who he's likened to frequently. This man looks almost exactly like Michael Vick did, and I think the Falcons would champion him well. They would know how to use him, and they have all these rookies and young players around him. I think it's what he's been missing. He has large receivers that can go downfield and make plays. He does not have that in Baltimore. I look at the Falcons at plus 350.
Lando, what you got?
Yeah, man. For me, there's one that makes sense on this list, and that's the Jets. I think this would be the best move for Lamar Jackson. He is used to winning. This Ravens team always goes deep in the division, and that's something that the Falcons can't do, especially here recently. They've been slacking. I don't think this is a team that he wants to go to. The Jets were so dang close to going all the way. If they didn't have Zach Wilson, if they didn't have a Breece Hall injury, we would have seen something different. I think if Lamar's on the Jets this last season, they're in the playoffs and they're making a run for it. So New York Jets plus 250. They already have a huge run game. I think he just adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, I think I like the Jets too. The Jets have the draft or the trade capital in order to go get him. Plus, on top of that, I mean, I think he fits the scheme pretty well, and he's a way bigger improvement than what Zach Wilson was. And the thing is, they're done with Zach Wilson. They don't want Mike White to really take control. And then on the other side, Josh was talking about the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, they just drafted Desmond Ridder. They don't know what he can do. They don't know what he's on.
He wasn't expensive. You can get rid of him.
I mean, he's a first round pick, you know?
End of the first round, but I don't.
Yes.
I think they could afford to be like, yo, you didn't pan out. It just is what it is. That's Lamar Jackson, a MVP. I mean, are we forgetting?
I just
this?
think
He's worth it.
No. I just think the Jets are going to be a lot more aggressive on these trade talks because you can't sign Lamar anymore. You know, he's a restricted agent or whatever. He just got his friend. He just got franchise tag, so you can't go sign him. You got to go trade for him. I think the Jets are going to be more aggressive here. I like the Jets plus 250. We got another guy on this list, Derek Carr, putting on the Raiders helmet one last time in the Pro Bowl. But then after that, we're looking at these odds and we're looking at the Jets, the favorite here at plus 300. And you got the Colts right behind him at plus 350. Where's Derek Carr going?
Well, based off this list, sir, I don't even see the Raiders. So there is no chance in the world that he is going back to the Las Vegas Raiders. He is done with the franchise. He's been there a long time. He can't get past, first round playoffs, if even to the playoffs. So we're looking at these teams, and I think the best fit for Derek Carr right now would probably have to be the Colts at plus 350. I like this move because you're giving him the weapons he needs to look like a good quarterback. You got Michael Pittman, and you also have Jonathan Taylor, dump-offs all game. This would look good for Derek Carr. I think this is the only one that would save his season is going to the Colts and starting to get things moving. They could actually go deep in their division, having the Titans and Jags and teams like that in their division.
So on one hand, I do kind of agree with that. The Colts would be a great team for him to go to. But I think with all the quarterback issues they've had, veteran and some younger players, I think they just wind up looking towards the draft and looking towards a future with a whole new quarterback that hasn't played a single snap of NFL downs. The team I like the most is actually the Commanders. We know that they are more than willing to go get a player who's about to end their career and try and get as much out of him as they can. We saw it with Carson Wentz bust. And then we've also seen Taylor Heineke have a semi-productive season. I think you put Derek Carr with that Washington Commanders offense, and you have a viable offense at that point. Terry McLaurin is a dog. To me, pretty high caliber for a quarterback. And then you also have some other receivers like Jahan Dotson, and you have their backfield as well. I think the Commanders would be a great pick, though I really would not like to see the Cowboys defense against someone like Derek Carr on a regular basis. He's so streaky.
Yeah. I'm looking at Derek Carr, man, and I kind of agree with both of you guys, but at the same time, there's another team that kind of just sticks out to me, and that's the Carolina Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers,
No, you can have him, bro.
That's why he didn't say it. He didn't want him.
You can keep him.
But this is literally what the Carolina Panthers have done. They went out and got Sam Darnold, who, you can kind of put these guys in the same boat, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold. They seem kind of like the same player. And then they went out and got Baker Mayfield. That didn't work out for him. Derek Carr is kind of right there with these guys when it comes to like his ability, like what he can do. I think he's just a little bit better at, reading the pass rush and reading the defense. And that'll help out the Panthers a lot, but I don't think they're going to actually do anything. I think Derek Carr's career is pretty much over now. I think he's done.
He'd have to get a Super Bowl. I don't see that happening.
It's been in 9 years? That's not bad.
There's no way he's getting a Super Bowl now.
Yeah. I think the Panthers might be a good one, but I do like the Colts pick a lot too at plus 350. That's not bad at all. All right, but we got Aaron Rodgers. We're looking at Aaron Rodgers, and we're looking at the Las Vegas Raiders at plus 575. Then you got Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he's not going to stay with the Bucs, and instead we think he might move over to the who was this? Are we looking at the 49ers at plus 350? That's not a bad pick for Tom Brady. I think that's where he could possibly go to retire. I like the 49ers here. Then we got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, this is probably the biggest name in free agency. And we're looking at the New York Jets plus 250. We like this a lot. We think he's gonna fit the scheme pretty well. And last but not least, Derek Carr. And we're gonna take the Colts here plus 350. Those are the quarterbacks in free agency right now. But it's time for the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. We got the Super Bowl for you guys. Right. Woo! What's up, Juggernauts? It is time for the fourth quarter.
And we got the Super Bowl coming at you right around the corner. This is what we've all been waiting for. The matchup is set. We got the Kansas City Chiefs facing the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. This is going to take place Sunday, February 12th at 5:30 p.m. So be ready. The game's on Fox. We're getting excited. And this game will actually be in Arizona at State Farm Stadium. How ironic that Patty Mahomes is in every State Farm commercial, and now he's playing at State Farm Stadium. How are y'all feeling?
I feel like this was rigged. No.
Wow.
I knew Patty was MVP all season. Let's be real. I've been saying it over and over and over. I knew he would be here in the Super Bowl as well. Love that he's going to get a chance to contest another one. Not happy with the competition he's going to have to go against.
Yeah, let's go, Patty. I love the commercials, bro. This fits perfectly. I wonder what he's going to say after he wins the Super Bowl. You know how you get that one line right when you win the Super Bowl, you can say something and get paid like millions of dollars. I wonder what he's going to say. He's going to be like,
"Are you assuming he's going to win?"
Ooh,
you're over here.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about that next.
You almost let it slip.
Hey yo.
Now, we got a performance happening at halftime. This one was pretty cool. We have Rihanna. She's going to headline at the halftime, and she will be running the show, and we will be under her umbrella. That's for sure.
I'm dead. No, but
when's the last time she even released an album, bro?
Last time she released an album, dude, I think this was 2016, the Anti album. But
how do you know that?
Oh, bro, I'm the number one Rihanna fan, my boy. Rihanna's the GOAT. She is literally the GOAT. I think she is one of the best female artists. And this is not the Super Bowl. This is Rihanna's concert, and the Eagles and Chiefs are just invited to it.
100%.
I mean, as Kevin Gates said, I just want to kiss her on a big ass forehead. But
hey, she's rich, bro, with her little fashion line she's got going. Her little skincare.
It's Fenty. Fenty is, top luxury right now. But
oh my goodness.
I mean, I think this will probably be just as good as last year's Super Bowl, which was probably one of the best Super Bowl performances I think we've ever seen. And then you also had some crazy ones with like Prince. So I think this could be up there in terms of entertainment value. Everyone's been waiting on Rihanna. You know what would really drive everyone crazy? If she announces the album at the end of the halftime.
Oh, dude, that would be dope. That would be exciting. Dope.
Those tickets going to sell out in 2 seconds.
But pretty lit. We got Rihanna. She's going to be at halftime. Now let's have a quick little trivia. Since we're talking Super Bowl, which team has the most Super Bowl wins in NFL history? Hit that buzzer when you're ready.
Beat.
Oh, he got it. That's Jukum Josh.
Jukum Josh.
For me?
So the Cowboys had it for a long time, but then we had Pittsburgh come and get that 6-1. And then we had Tom Brady just continue to dominate and wound up getting to 6 as well. So it goes to the Patriots to me, even though they're tied with the Steelers, but the Patriots get it. They're the winningest NFL team, all because of one man, Senor Tom Brady.
Tom Brady got all 6.
All 6.
And he was like a 299th pick or something.
Basically, Mr. Irrelevant.
Or 199.
Something like that.
Something like that. But let's talk Eagles, man. They're in the Super Bowl. This is crazy. The last time they went to the Super Bowl was 2018. This one was actually completely wild. Do y'all remember this?
Oh, dude, against Tom Brady.
This is your boy Carson Wentz going down.
Oh, that's
having
right.
to figure things out. And guess who won the Super Bowl?
Nick Foles dogged it out.
Nick Foles dogged it out and beat the Patriots to win Super Bowl in 2018. This is just wild, man. I mean, and then we go to the Chiefs and think about the last time they played in a Super Bowl, and that was 2021, just a couple years ago. It's crazy to say just a couple years ago.
Oh, that's so wild. I think they could have possibly been back last year too, you know? I mean, this team has been on a roll.
They got Patty. They're not going to stop. Is it? The roll is still rolling.
Yeah, it's still rolling. They're going to be in here for a long time. I mean, what was the last one? They beat the Tom Brady again. So both of these teams, last time they were in the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, they beat Tom Brady.
That's crazy, dude.
I'm just hoping.
I think they lost to Tom Brady.
Oh, they lost to Tom Brady.
They lost. Yeah. They lost.
The Niners.
Yep.
The Chiefs beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
I thought we would have another matchup this season, but it just was not in the cards.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I wonder what to expect this year. I'm thinking a lot of I'm thinking it might come down to the wire, though. I think this is going to be a great game. I think these are the best 2 teams in the NFL. This is going to come down to the wire. I'm pretty excited to make these picks next week.
Yeah, dude, I saw the cheapest Super Bowl ticket is going for a little over $4,500 right now. And then I was looking at some seats. I couldn't remember where it was at, but it was pretty close to the front row, and it was looking at about $49,000. So we're anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 a ticket for this Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
New proposal for the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl should open up to the teams performing in the Super Bowl, and it should open up to their fan bases first. Like, hey, if you are a ticket holder or a season ticket holder, you have first entry into buying for the Super Bowl, because I think having fans of other teams at a Super Bowl is not as important to me. I want to see OG fans going crazy in the stands. But with how expensive it is to get in the Super Bowl, you're pricing out real fans. You are not giving them even an opportunity to experience that with their team.
Yeah, that would be dope, but it's definitely all about money. And I'm sure at least like I think 95% of everybody who's at the Super Bowl has a bet on something.
Oh, got to.
You have to. But one thing I do want to do before we, wrap everything up is I want to make a nice little Super Bowl bet with us and the Gridiron, the Gridiron Chuggers and the Chuggernaut fan base. Over under that the Chuggernauts chug 10 beers.
Total? Or
us 3. Are we taking the over or under on 10
during the Super Bowl?
During the Super Bowl.
Sheesh.
X is taking like 9.
I'm taking the over. I mean, me and Lando just got to have one. He'll finish a case. I'm taking the over. I mean, it's simple math here,
If I shake that thing and hit it on my forehead, I might be able to hit a couple of them. Get my adrenaline going.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. 10 beers. Lock it in. We're taking the over on that. Hell yeah. But it'll be a good one. That is the fourth quarter for you guys. Let's wrap this bad boy up. We got some drinks we want to break down. Lando, how you feeling on that rhino?
Well, I chugged and now I'm sipping. This is the Chubby Unicorn by Intrinsic Brewing. Shout out to them. This is from Garland, Texas. So we appreciate you. I'm feeling a little buzzed. One more might send me. I'm telling you.
Let's go.
You know, I had a cowboy coffee, trying to keep that energy up, but get a drink in me at the same time. It was made with the Ballatin Cherry Whiskey Cream. I highly recommend it. It is a really strong cream. I don't know if you guys are used to Bailey's, where it's a little bit lighter, a little bit creamier. This is definitely heavy on the whiskey in the flavors. So I love it in the coffee. It really don't have to add much to it. Just make sure you use a cold coffee. Otherwise, it will curdle.
Hell yeah. There you go. But that is all we have for you guys today. We got the Super Bowl coming up next week. So make sure you guys stay locked in. Follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube and Instagram at Gridiron Chuggers. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Click the link in the bio. It'll take you straight to a winning fantasy season. But one time for the one time. Let's put our glass in the air and chug, 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 chug.
You can do it. You can do it. There you go.
Game time.